5.3, last lesson for this week. But again, before we move on to our new material, let's review our basic skills. Keep in mind, this chapter is the only chapter where we're spending on reviewing these basic skills. So if you're not good at the basic skills after this chapter, you're going to want to make sure you ask for help. But whatever you do, don't sit there and take 20 minutes to work on one problem just because you don't know, and then don't skip it just because you don't think you know how to do it. I think that these things are giving you one per day or whatever it might be, just to make sure you practice, so take advantage of it. Remember, it goes inside out. And the first thing you're supposed to say is how many times is 2 going to 1, which it doesn't. Then you're supposed to say how many times is 2 going to 16, which would be 8 times. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. You then multiply and subtract. 16 minus 16, 0. Then bring down the next number, which is 4. You then ask yourself how many times 2 goes into 4, which is 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract, getting 0. Your first line is 82. Your second line is negative 16. Your third line is 04. Your fourth line is negative 4. Your fifth line 0. You literally just write it down as you see it to ensure that you get everything you're supposed to get. Okay. Then on the second part, which was the final combination, so negative 7 and negative 3 combine to make negative 10. 5 and negative 8, again, those are opposite. The negatives win by 3. Negative 2 and 6, which would be a positive 6. The positives win by 4 in that situation. So again, that's the second part of what we're doing basic skills wise. Common denominator is where you're supposed to pretty much find the number based off of what's going on. And again, my recommendation is that you make a list of factors for your biggest number. And while you go, ask yourself, does this go into each number? Does 2 go into 8? Yes, it does, which means that 8 is your least common denominator. You don't always have to multiply and go higher. Just always check, does this smaller number go into that number on the list? All right. Our last basic skill for this portion of the quarter, we'll review a multiplication of integers. Remember that if the signs are the same, the result's positive. If the signs are different, the result's negative. All you need to do is type the answer. So positive, and notice that there's no plus sign. This is positive times negative. Signs are different. Would be negative. Negative times negative, the signs are the same. This would be positive. Negative times positive, signs are different, so this would be negative, and that's all you're doing. There's 3 on that one, and you just go ahead and go through it. And I even think it's set up to tell you which one you need to fix if you messed up. So now to our lesson. So far we've used the distributive property to distribute multiplication. So what we've done is we've said 3 meets 2x, which 3 times 2 is 6. Bring down your x. 3 meets 5. 3 times 5 is a positive 15. That's it. We've said 4 meets 2x, 4 times 2 is 8, bring down your x. 4 meets negative 7y, 4 times negative 7 is negative 28, bring down your y. 4 meets 5z, 4 times 5 is 20, bring down your z. And that's what we did so far. We can also distribute division. This lesson is going to look at the process of multiplying a fraction simplifying a fraction by distributing the denominator. So it's easier to do than it is to explain. So let's just look at where we're going to end up. Again, don't copy this yet, but this is what we're going to do. This is 15y plus 24 all being divided by 3. Just like this would be, 15y plus 24 all being multiplied by 3. Well, this is division. And so what we're going to do is look at each of these divisions and literally split it that way. So what we're going to do first is put the first term over the number, combine it with a plus as we always have. Then we're going to take the second number and put it over that division number again. 15y over 3 plus 24 over 3, and then you're literally going to do your division. 15 divided by 3 is 5, carry your y. 24 divided by 3 is 8. That is your answer. So it's the opposite direction. You just have to make sure that you're ready to do it. Okay. So don't forget, in algebra we show division by using fraction notation. So the first set of problems you're going to see on your homework is going to help you practice the division portion of the work. So here's an example of what it's going to look like. If you don't know what that is, just do 70. You could either do 70 over 5 and get your answer that way, or you could do as it is a division, 70 divided by 5, and get your answer that way. Either way, this is 14. If that's 14, then 70g over 5 should be 14g, because again, the g stays. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Again, the division is going to stay the same, but if there's a variable, you just attach the variable to your answer, just like we did in multiplication. When you see negative 70 divided by 5, well, we know 70 divided by 5 is 14, but just like in multiplication, the signs are different. It's going to be a negative 14, and here's your proof. And if you don't know, just type it in. Negative 70 divided by 5 is negative 14. So negative 70g divided by 5, again, that's your negative 14. Just don't forget to bring down the g. All right. The key to properly working problems for today comes down to the split step. Again, in that, we split the fraction into two fractions. From there, we simplified by dividing. Simplify, and again, you got to make sure you show the split. So copy these here because you have to actually show this middle step that we're going to do, which is to take this and put 64m over 8 plus 72 over 8. 64 divided by 8 is 8. Bring down the m. 72 divided by 8 is 9. And there you go. All right. 45c minus 18 over 9. Again, first thing you want to do is split that to be 45c over 9. Always plus. Just remember that that's a negative 18 over 9, just like when we did our distributive property and we respected that negative. That negative goes with the 18. 45 divided by 9 is 5. Bring down the c. Negative 18 divided by 9, because the signs are different, is negative 2. Multiplication rules, division rules work the same way. All right. 39t minus 169 over 13. The first thing we do is split. So 39 over 13 plus negative 169 over 13. I know that 13 goes into 39 3 times. Bring down the t. If I don't know what that is, I just type negative 169 divided by 13 and use my calculator to see, if the answer is negative 13, and that is my final answer. All right. So just remember that you need to connect the two fractions with a plus sign. Again, put the negative on top of the fraction if necessary. Today's homework has all the questions that will be on your quiz, so work to understand them, and you should be fine tomorrow. Remember again that it must be done on time. So do what you need to do, and let's make the most out of today. I'll talk to you later. Good luck.